Today's guests were behind the bench for the Majettes trip to the state semifinals. Joining me now is the Minot girls hockey co-coaches, not only the boys, but the girls have co-coaches. It's Chris Stokke and MaKayla Sandvold. Guys, first tell me a little bit about what made you decide to get into, the coaching aspect of the game, why you wanted to stay in it and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so hockey's always been a part of my life, a big part. I mean, I spent pretty much my whole life growing up at the rink, so when college was over, it was kind of weird hanging up those skates. I did, some men's league and things like that, but I wanted to be part of the program again, especially the girls hockey, since, I played for them for 6 years, and so Minot High Majettes means a lot to me, and it was really cool to come back and be part of it again.
What was the connection that you had, Chris, to wanting to stick around?
Yeah, I was kind of the same thing as MaKayla. I always grew up at the rink and loved the sport. When my playing days were over, I knew I wanted to stay in it and stay active in it. And in the various communities that I've been in, I've stayed active in it. And when there was an opportunity coaching here in town, I knew it was something I wanted to shoot for and go for, and I'm glad I did.
What was the process kind of like to becoming co-coaches? First of all, just maybe, interviewing and then ultimately realizing that the co-coach was the way to go for the program?
Yeah, that was kind of up to our athletic director, Mitch. He, kind of ran it by us when he offered us the position, and, I think we both felt comfortable with it. And MaKayla and I kind of knew each other at the time, so we had an idea who we were, and we've been around the rink and whatnot, and we're both teachers, so it sounded like a good opportunity. We were both young coaches. For me, it felt good to be able to have someone else to bounce those ideas off and just collaborate with.
What was that year one like for you, MaKayla, where it's the co-coach dynamic? You guys are both at the head coaching level. You can bounce off ideas with assistant coaches if you want to, but you're not really on your own in a head coaching position. What was that like?
Yeah, it was nice to have Chris there. It kind of took pressure off me a little bit, but it's kind of weird. I always say we have the same brain. It's not often that we disagree on decisions. So to just have that reassurance of, that idea is good, I think was really helpful and nice having that in my first year.
Was there ever anything like big that kind of came up when you say like there wasn't much that we disagreed on? What were some things that you guys maybe did have to hash out?
Man, honestly,
it's been good. It's been good.
It
yeah,
was good. I mean, we're obviously not going to agree on every single decision. Honestly, maybe some little things here and there, but I think, like MaKayla said, we think a lot alike. We're definitely different personalities, but we think a lot alike, and I think that's what really makes us a good team and a good fit.
With your playing careers, does one coach maybe gravitate to, like the goalies more or the forward and defensemen more, anything like that?
I feel like my expertise is definitely in the forwards, so that's kind of where I hang out on the bench, and Chris is more in the middle. He's got the defense and the offense going and things like that. So the different, aspects of our professionalism or whatever has been nice to come together.
Yeah, I think definitely MaKayla, she has a knack for the forwards. I mean, when I played, I was a goalie, so I had such a good view of the ice where I got to see everyone and learn the game. But those defensemen, they were always my best friends, and I knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing. So I definitely gravitate towards that a little bit more, but I still like to put the puck in the back of the net. So,
did you get a chance to loosen the girls up at all when during a practice maybe you got to strap on the pads at all? It was a question I asked Minor when we were talking to him for the show.
I actually did one time.
One time?
Yeah, one time at the end of the year, I put them on and let my hair down. I don't know what they thought about that.
If you do a split squad shootout with the Majettes where one team has you as the goalie and then the other has Amber Borkhuis, who wins in a 5-round shootout?
Amber, 100%.
Hands down.
Hands down, 100% of the time.
Mm-hmm. So talking about this season, MaKayla, you brought up right at the front end how you were playing for the team for like 6 years. Curious, did you take anything from Coach Weylin Wahlstrom when you've kind of implemented your own style at all? What influence did he have on you?
Yeah, so when I started, he was an assistant coach, and then actually my senior year, he became the head coach. So it's kind of nice to see his, grow throughout all those years too. And then the year before I became head coach, I was an assistant coach under Weylin, and he taught me so much about coaching. So I really owe it to him for that.
How big was Amber's goaltending? That was going to be one of my questions that I was going to kind of flesh between Chris's illustrious career and then her contributions this year. How big was that for the team?
Oh yeah, Amber, she is phenomenal, especially when, she is in the right mind. She's unstoppable. Like at state, she'll face 40, 50 shots, and, she, I think, plays better when she sees those shots because she gets in the game, and yeah, she's unstoppable when she's on her A game.
Versus like your team's being dominant, you're only getting like 8 or 10 shots in the first 2 periods, you can get cold.
Oh, definitely. So I was a goalie for soccer, and you don't get many shots in soccer, so I definitely know what that's like. Yeah.
Yeah, and you kind of touched on it a little bit, what she was able to do at state. How was this team? You guys, in their first year here, it had the most success at state probably in sometime maybe ever this year. What made kind of the difference this year for the program?
I think the want. The girls just wanted it so much, and you could tell. We really worked hard all year, off the ice, on the ice. They did team building. I think it was just the want factor. This group of girls really wanted it.
You see a lot of that?
Yeah, absolutely. And then, the girls went in and they were really receptive to what we had to say too. They stuck to a game plan. They knew that, especially going into that first, all the games, the 3 teams that we played this year in state, we were 0-6 in the regular season against. They knew we had to go in with a game plan. We stuck to the game plan. And, that second game, obviously, against Bismarck, sometimes you win some, you lose some. We played well. Sometimes a team just beats you. And, that was, I thought that was big. They really worked hard for that and stuck with it.
That Bismarck game was way more tight than what we've seen Minot Bismarck games in the past. So,
yeah,
microcosm of progress, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, would have been nice to get the W. But we definitely played them a lot tighter than the 2 contests during the regular season.
When you got to see the kids that are graduating off this team from this year, who do you kind of miss the most? Either just putting pucks in the net, stopping pucks, or just having the voice here in the Majettes locker room?
Honestly, I think all the seniors had a really big part on the team. 3 of the seniors were our captains, so that's kind of going to be a hard thing to replace,
Yeah, it was a really interesting dynamic with the seniors. We had seniors that played every other shift. We had a senior that wasn't able to play, and we had a couple seniors that joined the team a couple years ago to help keep the program going. So it was a really interesting dynamic. So I think, we'll miss them all at different spots, whether it be at practice or on the bus or playing in a game, really.
Who do you really highlight as the girls that are going to come back next year to maintain the level you guys were able to accomplish this season and maybe go further than that?
Yeah, we're looking for a lot of girls, to really step up and improve their game and really take reins. Obviously, Amber on the back end, we're going to need another big year out of her. She's, the backbone of our team. And then on the defensive side, Paige Ackerman, she plays over half the game for us. She's just a workhorse back there. She does anything you ask from her. I don't know.
Steady.
Got
some steady players coming back, yeah.
Yeah, and the offensive side, obviously, Abby Tallman, I think she had 8 points in the state tournament. She got snubbed from the all-state tournament team, absolutely. Taylor Cope. The list goes on. We have a lot coming back, and we're looking for some of these girls to really step up and put in the minutes, that a lot of our seniors put in, because we lose a lot. We got a lot of talent coming back, but we do. We lose 9 girls from last year, so.
Where's that fit in maybe just like the average turnover of girls hockey? Is that a bunch? Is that normal? Do you feel fortunate at all with anything or no?
Yeah, this was definitely a senior heavy team. 9 seniors, that's a lot. Mm-hmm. But I think we had, what did we end up with, 5 girls.
24.
24
Yeah,
girls at biggest Majettes hockey team ever. So I think it's just it was one of those years. We should still have. I think we are at 20 coming back. So we'll be good for numbers and a lot of returning minutes too. So
We're talking about girls that set the tone for this year, ones that can do the same thing for next year's team. I wanted to ask a real bigger picture question when it comes to setting examples for girls hockey players. When you're looking at players like the Lamoureux twins, or even like you guys played against Britta Curl from Bismarck for years on end. She's at Wisconsin, just killing it. For players that have moved on to accomplishments like that, I mean, what does that say about where girls hockey players from North Dakota can go with this sport?
Yeah, I mean, really, the sky's the limit. Comes back to that want factor. Back in my day, you had to live on the East Coast or Minnesota to make it, and that's not the case anymore. You can create good hockey players anywhere. It's just if they want it, they'll work for it. And I think, the sky's the limit.
You don't sound old saying back in my day yet. What's been the difference? It hasn't been that long.
Oh, it feels like it's been a long time when I, lace up those skates.
The availability of it, yeah.
I mean, it really has though progressed. I mean, I might be wrong on the year, but I think the first year of girls hockey in North Dakota was 2003. Does that sound right, MaKayla?
Yeah, it's either 02 or 03.
Yeah, so I mean, we're less than 20 years old here. So I mean, we're getting to a point where if you're good enough, they're going to find you here. Absolutely. I mean, Britta Curl, she played for Bismarck for 6-7 years or whatever it was, and she's going to play on the U.S. Olympic team. If they're good enough, you're going to find you. Mm-hmm. We talk to college coaches all the time, club hockey, D3, D1. It's hockey and girls hockey in general in North Dakota is just, it keeps getting better. It keeps getting better, and it's so good to see. I mean, I watch these practices, and I think back when I was practices and games, and I think back when I was in high school, and I'd be like, man, these guys would beat us 30-0. They would walk all over us. The hockey is so good right now. It's really good to see.
The advent of North Dakota girls hockey coming in around 03, it was an excellent NHL draft year. And so another Glory Day question. Any stories coming back for you, Chris, playing for the Iron Range Ironheads and Minnesota Wildcats? But on or off the ice, depending on how things went for you?
Yeah, those were my junior hockey days. It was definitely a fun time. It was a good opportunity. We had a couple of tough seasons, but I wouldn't trade it for the world.
The bright spots of going 9-45-2 in net, Chris.
940. The bright spot. All right. When I played for the Iron Range, there was a team in our league, the Wisconsin Wilderness. We were technically a Canadian league, so you were ranked in Canada out of 100. I think it was 122 teams. At the time, we were like 118 out
128 out of 122? Or
yeah,
what?
118 out of 122, and the Wilderness were number 4. And they came to our barn. We beat them in overtime. And, that was probably the bright spot of that year.
People talk about UMBC over UVA in March Madness, and they don't even try to remember that.
I don't know why they don't try to remember that with the 74 fans in the arena.
I told MaKayla it wasn't that long ago that she was playing either, but she's saying back in your day, does it kind of resonate with you more, given that they were the Iron Rangers or after one season they were the Ironheads and they turned to the Iron Rangers? Did they want to just scrap the identity after that 9-45er or what?
No, it wasn't that. They had a change of ownership after that. They moved. We were pretty much based out of Chisholm, Minnesota, which is like a 3,000 person town in the Iron Range, and then they kind of moved to a town 30-40 minutes away in White Lakes, and they got a new coach, new GM and everything, so I think they just wanted to rebrand a little bit. But
yeah, I think they could have done better than Iron Range Ironheads. Like, what on earth?
It was interesting. Our jerseys were pretty cool, though, so I
Rangers and all. Yeah. So we talked about the lean years you had there.
Yeah.
Well, how about MSU and the Tetons,
Yeah.
A little bit of a pickup?
Yeah, Williston State, that was really a great start. Seamus Gregory was my coach there, so he gave me a really good opportunity. It was a little bit different when I played in the Iron Range. I think I it was about a 55 game season. I probably started 35, 40 of the games, over half the games. And when I went to Williston State, I definitely had a different role. I didn't play a whole lot. I kind of got some of those throwaway games, but it gave me a really good perspective, of working for it. And I worked for every minute I got on the ice, and I knew my role, and I got to see the ice and see the game from a different perspective, which was good. I was really appreciative, and we went on to win 2 national championships. That was great.
Yeah, not too bad, huh?
Not too shabby.
Yeah, MaKayla, we touched a lot about what you guys were able to accomplish as co-coaches with the Majettes, but at the same time, if you were on the bench in Iron Range, what on earth would you tell the boys when they're going 9-45-2?
They gotta switch something up.
It goes back to that want-to that we've been preaching on, or what?
I mean, my motto is shoot to score, so I'd probably say something along the lines of that. You maybe not get so many shots, but the ones you do get, make sure you score.
MaKayla, it was mostly Stokke stop the puck. Yeah, it was interesting. So our coach in the Iron Range, I don't know if you guys are familiar with NHL legend Chris Chelios.
Yep.
His brother Steve Chelios was our coach, and so he was a character. I will never forget that guy. He just said a lot of funny stories about his glory days and him and his brother and him dropping the Stanley Cup, and it was great.
Did Chris ever show up to a practice, or did Steve say you guys need to get better before he can talk to you, or what?
You know what? I don't know that their relationship was good enough for Chris to come over for a practice, but no.
That's a brotherly story. I can't delve into too much.
I'm not sure.
All right. Well, again, just to wrap things up here, you guys had a great year 1 together with the Majettes. Just hope for your continued success. Do either of you, since we have 2 of you, there's double the chance. Anybody want to guarantee like a spot in the state championship right now in July when we're taping, or what? That is a good question. What do the girls have? I know it's socially distancing, but what do the girls have to be doing in July to make sure they're good in the winter?
They just have to. I mean, they have to stay. We've been skating on we're gonna skate tonight. We skate every Thursday, so just staying active, shooting pucks, making sure you're working on just staying in shape, and not losing a step, because all the girls around the state, they're not losing a step. They're going after it.
That's a big thing. Staying mental. Trying to think, what is my competition doing? How can I, be one of them when it comes time to play them again? Mm-hmm. We have a lot of lost love with Bismarck, so before we get to that state championship, we'll take that game first and during the season. So
you have that like stuck with the girls a little bit, like just remember that last game, or how much so?
I don't think we really need to say that. They know, they want it, and I think more than ever this year. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just keep that, one to be the best mentality, because it feels like you guys are on the upswing, and I guess we'll see you on the mountaintop, right, or what?
Yeah, that's what we're shooting for.
All right, cool. MaKayla and Chris, thank you very much.
Thank you.